Welcome to Auntie Kay's Tarot, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello, and welcome back to Auntie Kay's Tarot. We are looking at the 8th through King of Swords in my upcoming Star Wars Tarot. On Tuesday, January 28th, the proofs of this deck, Back Pocket Oracle, Mystery Oracle, they all arrive for me to look over and see if any changes need to be made, and hopefully most things are fabulous for me to share with you. All right, let us continue on. So we are at the 8 of Swords with Barris, Ophi, on Nur. Okay, let's just get this out of the way now. On the two cards where you can see the background of Nur, we're actually on Nur at Fortress Inquisitorius in the Justice card, the 2 of Swords, and here in the 8 of Swords. In the 2 and 8, you have an outdoor view. And I'm calling both a postcard view, where like you have a close-up of the building and then a landscape shot of the building, because it's the only features on Nur. It's the only building. And the moons or the other planets hang very low in the sky in this shot, which adds to the moodiness, the grayness. Yeah, it's much darker. The floor of Fortress Inquisitorius works as a great stand-in for this meandering stream of rivers, and then an outside view is a fortress for the gray castle that kind of blends into the sky there, and this the dark lightsabers, the red lightsabers, the Inquisitorius lightsabers, which they're made with like fake kyber crystals. They're all around her, and instead of being blindfolded, it's much more metaphorical. We see her putting on the Inquisitorius helmet, and I loved it, and I loved this part of Tales of the Empire. All right, 9 of Swords. I really am thrilled with this card, really happy with this card. This is Bodhi Rook with Nightmares of Bor Gullet on Jeddah. So instead of swords, we have Bor Gullet's tentacles and 9 bars, and I would argue that bars are a weapon. Jail cell bars are a weapon, and they look the same as the swords in this card. Bor Gullet's tentacles, if you look really closely, one of them goes underneath the blanket. And you can see the highlights of it in the blanket. I had a lot of fun making this card. It took me a couple goes to get Bor Gullet right. We have both the Empire symbol, and we also have Saw Gerrera's symbol on this blanket, in the blue squares and the yellow and red squares, because he's at Saw Gerrera's hideout on Jeddah, and he's running from the Sith Empire. Okay. 10 of Swords. Maul's final death. And for the 10 swords, we have 10 sabers that Maul has fought. Okay, so we have the sabers of Sidious, Kanan, Anakin, Grievous, Windu, Asajj, The Darksaber here, when Maul battled against the Darksaber, it was with Pre Vizsla. Then we have Kenobi, Reva, and Ahsoka. And so these 10 sabers are part of the tragedy of Maul and his final death on Tatooine.
And I feel the sabers just make this card beautiful.
For the Page of Swords, we have Sabine Wren with the dark saber, and Sabine is on Kalevala, and in the distance is Castle Cries. So Sabine rightfully has the dark saber, and no, this was watermarked. I wonder if I have one without it. Anyway, we'll see what you all get. Okay, so Sabine rightfully comes into possession per lore of the Darksaber. But just because you wield a weapon doesn't mean you deserve to lead. And this is what Sabine figures out. Just because she can wield the Darksaber doesn't mean she's ready to lead the Mandalorians. And so she gives the Darksaber to Bo-Katan. This is the first time the Darksaber is given to Bo-Katan. She loses it in failed negotiations for Mandalore. But Din Djarin gets it back and then gives it back to Bo-Katan. Okay. Next up, we have a minor character that I really love. And for the Knight of Swords, we have Enfys Nest on a swoop bike. And Enfys Nest's feather motif works with the bird motifs of the Knight of Swords. And the landscape that she's on, I'm really brain farting on the planet. This is it takes place during the Han Solo movie. And the red banner she has on the back of her swoop bike stands in for the red cape of the Knight of Wands. And I'm really thrilled with how these cards come out. I don't really know how many times I can say the same thing, but I'm really thrilled with these. And I hope everybody enjoys them as much as I do. Okay, Queen of Swords. I did originally draw Leia as my Queen of Swords before it became a deck. And then I had to rethink it. So, Leia is now in the Judgment card. And for the Queen of Swords, we have Asajj Ventress on Pantora, which is where she finds love and heartbreak, which is really fitting for Asajj Ventress. It's just really fitting for her. And the landscape is beautiful. The city on Pantora ends up replacing the trees in the lower left-hand corner of the Queen of Swords. But I'm really happy with how it works out. And Pantora does give us some grasslands to fill in and bring us some growth, as well as fit in with the color scheme going on in here. And our final card in the sword suit is one of my all-time favorite characters, and that is Saw Gerrera. I've placed him on Onderon because Onderon is his home planet, and its landscape fits with the King of Swords better. But this is how he appears as he appears on Jeddah before he dies. So um, while we're seeing Saw at his last stage of life, we have him placed for the purpose of this card on his home planet, which he loved. This is why he became this anarchist rebel that he became. I created his throne, uh, very plain, very basic, looking like it has his symbol carved into it. And I think that worked out great. I hope all of you enjoy this as much as me, and my other decks will be available. For the first time, you'll be able to get In a Tarot Far, Far Away, Back Pocket Oracle, and the Mystery deck. And you will also be able to get previously released Marseille Prendre Vie and the Brown Witch Lenny when this comes to Kickstarter this spring, because it will come pretty soon.